Amidst the gut punch that is losing Mekhi Becton for the season, the New York Jets and their fans, you and me, we should be fully optimistic still heading into 2022, even with this setback in mind. Because Mekhi Becton wasn't here last year, and honestly, that wasn't one of the biggest things that derailed the Jets into having a poor, I would say awful, 2021 season. Let's review. Last year, the New York Jets had the highest percentage of catchable balls dropped. They went and got a receiver with the 10th overall pick. Last year, they didn't have a single above average or even average tight end on the roster. Now they have two guys who are above average and a rookie, one of the top three at his position. We'll see what we get from Jeremy Ruckert. 21 Jets didn't have much of a pass rush. Carl Lawson back, Jermaine Johnson opposite him, Jacob Martin, Solly Thomas, Michael Clemens, joining the incumbent Quinnen Williams, John Franklin Myers, and Sheldon Rankins. Think we'll be all right there. Didn't have much of a home run threat. Here comes Breece Hall. Couldn't stop a screen pass or cover a linebacker. Quan Alexander is now in town. Weren't physical on defense. Jordan Whitehead has entered the chat. Couldn't cover. Here's DJ Reed. Couldn't intercept the ball. Meet Ahmad Sauce Gardner. Didn't even have a kicker. Now we have two professional ones battling for the job. May the best man win. Maybe the biggest hole on the roster heading into last offseason was at one of our guard spots. Laken Tomlinson is one of the best in the business. Our tackles weren't the issue. Last year, Zach Wilson was sacked 44 times, which was high, but only 5 of those 44 sacks were given up by either George Fant and Morgan Moses, who started almost the entirety of the season. So for the future of tackle, we'll have to figure that out in next year's draft. But for this year to salvage this season, this offensive line, we don't need to replace the talent of Mekhi Becton. We just need to replace the talent of Morgan Moses. And there's 3 or 4 guys out there who can do that. We've been through it. You know their names. And we can still have a good offensive line. If we replace Morgan Moses, we have 2 Pro Bowl caliber guards. And the other 3 spots in our offensive line will be guys who are either average or above average. And we're fine. And Zach Wilson, he's fine too. Zach Wilson's going to be getting killed. We're not going to know what we have. It's going to be like Sam Darnold. Stop. Zach's fine. This isn't chaos. This isn't a disaster. This is adversity. And I would argue overcoming adversity is necessity. It is a requirement. It is a prerequisite for establishing yourself as a franchise quarterback in the NFL. Look at the 2 gentlemen who were in the Super Bowl last year. Joe Burrow, whose offensive line was so bad his rookie year, they got his knee torn off. He comes back. It's a little better. He's still getting sacked, top 5 in the league. And he takes them to a Super Bowl. Matt Stafford, who he faced off against, toiling in Detroit for over a decade of lack of weapons, protection, and coaching, gets a fresh start in LA and gets a chip. Why? Because Matt Stafford and Joe Burrow are those dudes. And Zach Wilson is too. In fact, I would argue I can't think of a single franchise quarterback that I've known in my lifetime that has not proven themselves by overcoming some type of adversity, aside maybe Patrick Mahomes, who got the keys to a Mercedes on his 16th birthday, but he lost his number 1 receiver. His tight end is now 33 years old. His offensive tackle is holding out. His defense lost the 2 best members of their secondary. And his division is now the most stacked one maybe ever in NFL history, with 2 other Hall of Fame caliber signal callers in his division. I think he'll be just fine, though. And Zach Wilson will be too. Now, you can't have complete and utter lack of support and coaching like Sam Darnold did, like infamously we've seen in NFL history with David Carr. There's a threshold you have to meet in order to evaluate your young quarterback and for them to take your team to the next level. And the New York Jets are just one moderately priced signing away from meeting that threshold. So all the corny sayings, positive vibes, all gas, no break. Bottom line, the New York Jets are going to be just fine. We'll talk ball soon.